If I just like leaned into the sink and like spit, blood would come out. I started eating meat and I started eating it raw. I had so much anxiety. I felt like I was going to explode at all times. So I would pee into a bottle in my room when I needed to pee so that I didn't run into her in the hallway.
Welcome to Friends with Davey, y'all. My guest today is one of the most polarizing individuals I have ever seen on social media. The amount of hate that she generates online is truly remarkable. Della Temple.
Hey.
Why do people hate you so much?
I don't know, dude. It's crazy.
It's wild.
I'm not out here doing anything that crazy, I don't feel like.
No, you're literally just like a health and lifestyle influencer. And I don't get it. Like if someone went and looked at the comments on your social media, it would blow their mind.
I know. I get told to myself every single day.
Okay, well, don't say that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, because it
Can't
is,
say that?
no, definitely can't say that.
Okay.
Unalive yourself.
Unalive.
There you go.
Got it.
Yeah, delete maybe. Nuke yourself.
Delete is crazy.
anything but. Josh learned a very
Delete is
important
crazy.
lesson about that. Producer Josh, welcome. Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, dude.
Yeah, never accidentally post on YouTube.
Don't do that either.
Is that what you did?
I'm gonna have to bleep so much of this already. That's crazy. This is insane. Anyways, Della,
Fucked up right out of the gate.
you are currently, you're kind of like the meat queen
Yeah.
on social media,
I like that.
like the carnivore
Your
diet.
producer's really confused right now.
When I say meat queen,
Please
Josh,
say more.
Yeah.
like literally red meat, like steak.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been on this diet for a long time. It helped you a lot. You're a huge advocate for it.
Yeah, it saved my life.
Vegans can't stand you.
Yeah, vegans want to
Scientists
delete
hate
me.
you.
Scientists are paid off, though. A lot of them.
Okay.
Like you have to like follow where the money comes from, and a lot of those studies are like, look at this study, red meat is bad, and then you go and you find out who funded the study, and it's like a seed oil company or like Impossible Burgers or something like that. It's stupid. You can't trust even every study that you see.
Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, we're definitely fed a narrative.
Yeah.
For sure. How did you even get into this world? Like what happened?
I was progressively, I had like health problems my whole life, but in like 2020, had horrible psychological issues. Kind of felt like I was going schizophrenic. I like thought people were plotting against me. I would like pace back and forth in my room. This is where it's like not funny and kind of sad. I would like pace back and forth in my room. Like if I was going to have like Postmates delivered, I couldn't speak to another person. I would practice what I was going to say to them, like walk back and forth in my apartment and practice what I was going to say to them like 30 times. I was just exactly like a person you see on the streets that's like babbling to themselves, like completely out of my mind.
Whoa.
And yeah, and I was also like in terrible physical pain. Like I couldn't put my arm out like this. It would like shake like this. Like all my limbs felt like they were burning off all the time. All of them would crack. My hands would crack whenever I like this. If I just like leaned into the sink and like spit, blood would come out.
What?
Yeah, every single time. Like I would spit like a quart of blood into the sink.
What was the underlying condition?
It ended up, I went to doctor after doctor and they never were like, what are you eating? And I was always eating like what they deem to be healthy, like nuts and fruits and stuff like that. And like I was eating a little bit of meat here and there, but like granola and like yogurt bowls and stuff like that. Like I was never, it's not like I was like fisting fast food into my face and like reaping the consequences of it. So I was eating primarily healthy and I went to like doctor after doctor after doctor. I also had horrible narcolepsy. I couldn't drive. I couldn't drive somewhere that was more than 15 minutes away without taking a nap on the side of the road. I would sleep for 23 hours a day, so 22, 23 hours a day. I could only wake up to walk my dogs around the block and feed them. And it was like that for years. Like I was legitimately bedbound. I couldn't kneel down from standing position. Like it hurt too bad. It just went on and on and on. It just got worse and worse and worse. And I found online, I got a prescription for Adderall. And I actually am like super anti-Adderall because I feel like it's super overprescribed. But I got a prescription for Adderall because I couldn't stay awake. And I will say Adderall granted me the ability to stay awake for enough, at least like 2 more hours in the day, so I could start studying. And I started studying online, like, what do I do to make myself better? And I started typing in all my symptoms. The first person I saw was Michaela Peterson's story. And she had a very similar story to mine. Her like joints and stuff were decaying at like 12 years old. She had to get like a double hip replacement surgery. But a lot of her like autoimmune issues and stuff like that were very similar to mine. And I was like, I'm going to do what she did. And so I did what she did, and it healed me. And it was essentially just like I started eating meat, and I started eating it raw, like raw, frozen in little
Raw
cubes.
meat?
Yeah.
Like red meat, you were just eating it raw?
Yeah, because it's the most, I like researched it, and they said it's the most nutrient dense way to eat it, because every time you cook it, you're like cooking out you're cooking out nutrients essentially.
Okay.
There's like a lot of studies about it. One of my favorites is the Pottinger's cat study, and like it's better for you. But you obviously, this day and age, a lot of stuff is very dirty, and you have to get like a higher quality meat.
Sure.
Thankfully, I had a job where I was working from home, and I like made a decent income at the time. So yeah, it was like more palatable to eat it raw, because I would like freeze it in little cubes, and I would just like almost take it like where I'm not chewing it, so I didn't have to like taste it, because I was like grossed out by it then, and now I'm not grossed out by it anymore. But
that's so crazy. Raw, like I mean, yeah, obviously you couldn't just go to the grocery store and buy like the saran wrapped meat and just start chomping that down raw. You do that?
Yeah, people say that though, but I've never had an issue with it.
Josh, have you ever eaten just raw meat like that?
Not on purpose.
Yeah, that's kind of intense.
One of the main things that's specifically super good for your brain is the actual fat on it, which is like typically what people are avoiding. So fat also, like if you immediately jump into eating a bunch of cooked fat, you're probably going to shit your pants. Okay. So I would take the raw, and I heard that from another person who cured her MS. And like I had very, very on brand with the symptoms of MS. Like I had almost every single symptom, except like in order to finally diagnose MS, you have to get a scan of your brain, and they do like there's like a lesion on your brain, and they're like, oh, you have MS, but they didn't know what the fuck I had. There was this other woman named Emily Pinton, and she did the exact same thing. And like my hands were so weak, it was like hard for me to even like cut up steak. So I used scissors to cut it up. And yeah, I would freeze the little things of fat as well, and just like pop them in my mouth like I was taking a pill in the morning. And at 2.5 weeks, I had like a 75% symptom drop off of the stuff that I had had for like 5 years.
2.5 weeks?
Yeah. I document it all too. I have a health Instagram. I documented it all in there, and I was just crying and like rocking back and forth in pain. And I've got videos and stuff from back then. And I didn't know if it was going to work. And yeah, 2.5 weeks, I had a 75% symptom drop off, and then after that, it just got better and better and better. And now I haven't been on medication in like 4 years, and I haven't had a single problem. I don't have anxiety anymore. That was my entire personality. So when I was doing stand up then, like when I was so mentally ill, it was hard for me to understand who I was going to be whenever I started stand up again, because I'm like David Goggins now. Like I'm super happy, and I'm like Tony Robbinsing my friends and stuff, and I'm not on medication, and it's just a whole different thing. So I have to figure out who the fuck I am, but.
So you were suffering from these symptoms, you said, for 5 years?
Yeah, there's stuff like dating back my entire life, like paying attention in school and stuff like that I know was attributed to that, because my brain has never felt completely normal, and just never being able to fully wake up and stuff like that, and just crippling anxiety. But it got worse and worse and worse, like the last 5 years. It was really bad.
So 5 years of just this misery.
Yeah.
Suffering, going crazy, essentially.
Yeah.
Then you started eating raw red meat and fat.
Yeah.
And in 2.5 weeks, you felt 75% better.
Yeah.
Like, were your mental faculties returning? I mean, I'm assuming most of it was physical, right? You like felt the physical differences fastest?
Yeah, I felt the physical differences the fastest. Probably the most fascinating one though is the mental stuff, because now I attribute it, because I never got like a full diagnosis. And also, like, I could only stay awake for so long, so it was difficult to like continuously go to these doctors. Also, it's expensive. Yeah. And it's like when they never asked me one single time. Some of the best doctors in like Beverly Hills and stuff didn't have any fucking clue what was going on with me. They never asked me what I was eating ever. They were never like, maybe even try keto, like never. They were just like, probably fibromyalgia. I don't know. And I was like, why am I going insane?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Fibromyalgia seems to be kind of a catch-all for like neurological pain, like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, not surprising to me at all that doctors couldn't figure out what was going on. I mean, like if you're spitting blood, you can't stay awake for more than an hour in an entire day. I mean, that's insane. And then to be where you are now.
Yeah. What I tell people, I just kind of diagnosed myself, but I think it was inflammation in my brain. And like now what's really cool is like I went through all this and I started documenting it online, and I got all of this shit online. I mean, I still do, but like I got all this shit online about like, you're crazy, I can't believe you're going to kill people by telling them to eat this way and all this kind of shit. And now we have people that are actually like some of my idols in that world are like gaining an audience, and people are realizing that what they were saying wasn't bullshit. There's a doctor named Dr. Chris Palmer at Harvard, and he is studying like the mental effects of people that have schizophrenia, even with like putting them on a ketogenic, like making their body run off of ketones and stuff. And it's making people that are schizophrenic and babbling to themselves not have that problem anymore.
Really?
With zero medication. Yeah. So I'm like, see, what I went through isn't bullshit. And they're people with, what is it, like manic depressive disorder? Well, that's what I had. Bipolar disorder. They're doing it with bipolar disorder. People with crazy like seizures and stuff like that's why they put people with epilepsy on a ketogenic diet.
So just feeding them red meat.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always heard that like your gut health is very closely tied to your mental health, but like what you're saying is your mental health, as long as you're feeding yourself right, I guess, or on the correct diet, like it could help with a lot of symptoms that maybe some people are experiencing.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of people think that they were just, I mean, almost all of them, because we're like on the cusp of this. Like people think that they were just born this way, and like my brain is broken, and it's like no, you need to see who you would be if you were to eat this way for like a couple of months.
How long have you been on this type of diet?
I went carnivore in 2021. I went carnivore for 2 years, nothing but meat for 2 years. But on carnivore, you can also have a little bit of cheese, and you can have like eggs, fish, like all that is still meat. So like animal products is carnivore. And I did still have coffee, but I like checked it for mold and stuff like that. I was really, really serious about it. I only drank that Mountain Valley spring water.
Oh yeah, shout out. I like that stuff.
Mountain
it's good
Valley.
Stuff. Yeah, Mountain Valley spring water.
Because Paul Saladino, dude, my Lord and Savior, he told me that it was like that was the best one that I should be drinking. Yeah, but I did strict carnivore for 2 years and put anything else in my mouth other than maybe like a little vinegar on an oyster or something here and there, but like nothing else. And then got completely healed, and now I'll always for the rest of my life be like 90% carnivore, but I can play a little bit with other stuff.
Okay. So this is actually pretty recent then. Like if you started doing carnivore in 2021, I mean, that was just 4 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So you were a crazy person like 5 years ago, essentially.
Yeah, I was a crazy person, yeah. I'd like to think that I wasn't like lashing out at people or anything like that. It was mostly just like me suffering on the inside.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was out of my mind. I was also like in the throes of I had super bad bulimia for like 20 years, and I was like in the throes of that, and I was like just this psychosis about like not looking good enough and stuff like that. And I would like eat all of the food, and then I would throw it up for like I would just be locked in my room like eating and throwing up for 2 weeks at a time. That's why it's just so crazy to like be in this headspace. That's why I'm like, you can get out of it, and people are like be a dick to me online. I'm usually like, you can still do it. I don't know.
Even if you want to hate me, you can still make your life better.
You probably hate me because you probably feel a little bit like I did or whatever.
Do you think, like, is that why people are so hateful towards you online? Is it the diet stuff, or is it just like kind of in general? Because to me, like, it was so crazy. Like when I became aware of you online and started seeing some of your content, it was just like, wow, people really can't stand her.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know what it is.
It's like a very lopsided amount of negativity towards you.
I think also specifically with diet, people are diet is like, diet makes you think of like spending time with your family when you were a little kid and stuff like that. And also is like a good thing to do whenever you're bored and all this kind of stuff. So whenever you tell somebody like what they're eating is wrong, they have like a visceral reaction to it.
Yeah.
So I get that, I guess. And then like obviously everybody that's vegan hates me. Everybody that's vegetarian hates me because they have.
Well, you're also kind of right leaning a little bit too.
Yeah.
But I haven't even seen like liberal people getting mad at you so much. It's mostly like I would say incel dudes. Yeah. Incel dudes primarily just cannot stand you. It's crazy how triggered they get on your page.
I know. I made a video that's actually like, it's haunting my phone right now every time I open my phone. All it was I was joking that I was having a conversation with a really tall guy and that he like thought that I was going to immediately sleep with him. Like that was the premise.
Yeah.
And short guys are mad because I don't know why. And then tall guys are mad. Both of them are mad. And then they're like, you're going to die alone.
Maybe.
Why?
But over that video, yeah, it's kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, who cares?
But
too?
I mean, you're also kind of used to, I don't want to say that kind of negative feedback, but having to deal with audiences, because you mentioned briefly, like you have a history doing stand-up comedy as well. You started back in Los Angeles, right?
Yeah, I started in LA. I made enough money. I visited LA and I saw like a bunch of really hard-hitting comics like do stand-up. I visited the Comedy Store in like 2012 and I was like, holy shit, I can't even believe you can fucking do that for a job.
Yeah.
And so I made enough money at the restaurant that I was working at to move to LA to do stand-up. I never even did an open mic I was living in Dallas, never even did an open mic there. I like started in LA, which is kind of a weird thing to do because then I was just out there for like 7 years. I came back, like nobody in the city, I didn't know any of the comics or anything. That's like a weird foreign thing. And then it also made my hometown feel weird for doing stand-up in because I never had done it there. I don't know.
Well, we'll talk about it at the end of the episode, but we're going to be doing some shows in Dallas.
I wasn't even trying to segue.
Yeah, that was a perfect segue, though.
Yeah, it was.
So wait, you basically went to the Comedy Store, you saw people performing, and you were like, I want to do this, so I'm going to move here rather than practicing in like my home turf. I'm just going to go and immerse myself in the culture.
Yeah, that's
in
what
LA.
I thought. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And that was 2012?
No, it was 2015, 2016.
Okay, you made the
I think
move
I
to LA in
visited,
2015.
Yeah, it took me a little bit to like make the money and like work and stuff like that, but maybe I got some of the timeline wrong.
And then when did you start experiencing like this debilitating illness?
It lingered and lingered, but then it started probably in like 2018.
Is when it got really bad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Terrible.
And you became basically an invalid at that point.
Yeah, and I was just I was just in my bed all the time. And that was actually before I had dogs and stuff, so I didn't actually have like another thing to take care of. I remember I always tell people online, like I was friends with my roommate. I lived in the Valley in LA, and I was friends with my roommate. She was my homie, but I was so mentally ill that I couldn't like. It's so weird now because I'm such a different person. It's so weird to even explain it because it doesn't make sense me saying it out loud. I'm like, why? But I couldn't even like run into her in the hallway because I couldn't even like deal with the psychological like stress of being around another person. Like I had so much anxiety. I felt like I was gonna explode at all times. So I would pee into a bottle in my room when I needed to pee so that I didn't run into her in the hallway.
You were peeing into a bottle in your room?
Yeah.
Just so you didn't have to see another human being?
Yeah. And I would like, I wasn't like a hoarder, you know what I mean? Like I would like go empty it out and stuff, but I would piss into a bottle in my room so that I didn't have to run into her in the hallway.
Honestly, just the mechanics of that are kind of impressive. I mean, I can see how a dude can do it, you know what I mean? But
I was
a lady?
that. Did you
maybe
have
like a wider mouth bottle.
Like a pickle jar? Is that what it was?
Pickle jar is crazy.
One of the cheese puffs, like one of those giant drums.
Relax. I used to do shows in Long Beach, and like that drive is literally it has to take you 2 hours to get there whenever there's any traffic at all. And I've peed into a Snapple bottle in my car going to shows.
That's actually kind of impressive.
Yeah, it's like one of my talents because I have to pee all the time, and I'm like, what am I going to do? Piss myself? I can't do it. Like, you have to figure it out.
What kind of Snapple? Strawberry kiwi. That's the only correct answer, actually.
It probably actually was strawberry kiwi. It's the only one I can even think of.
So you did you basically gave up your life in Dallas so that you could pursue stand-up.
Yeah.
And then at some point you just stopped doing it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we've had this conversation. I still don't really know why you stopped. Like what happened? Was it part of was the illness the part of it? Like the anxiety?
Illness is part of it, yeah.
Okay.
I think it was almost like reaching for something and then it's like gets a little farther and then you're just like, fuck it. Like I'm not gonna do that anymore. But I was super duper sick and I couldn't fucking do it. It got to where I was like too mentally ill. I was like booking shows and canceling them just like because I would just be in my room looking at air and like freaking out. And I would get like an upper and I'd think that I'd like feel good enough to do it and I'd book it and then I'd cancel and I was like, I'm going to ruin my fucking life doing this.
Yeah.
And then I got progressively more and more sick. And then I was like, I have to get out of here. And I moved out of LA. And when I moved out of LA, I moved to New York, and that's whenever I started to do the. I just couldn't do anything but focus on not dying, and it was just like yeah, I didn't have time to like write or anything like that because I couldn't stay awake at that point. I had to live my life for 2 hours a day and then go back to sleep because there was just no fucking way I could be alive for longer than that. And then the dietary change, and then I got so geeked out on that. I think I was like, this is amazing. And then I didn't know who I was. And then it had been like a couple years since I had done it. And I was like, oh shit, who am I with it? And like, how am I going to do that again and stuff like that? And now I'm like, there's nothing funny about like loving life and like being healthy. So I was like, what am I even going to say? But now that things have like leveled out more, I'm super stoked to do it again. But yeah, it was just one of those things. But it always like, then I had these friendships that were like so meaningful to me in LA. A couple of them. A lot of people are fucking assholes. I was out there for a decade. If I was anywhere else, I would be like, look at all these friends. But now I have like 2. But I have these friends that like were like, that are doing it, that were like, you can't fucking quit. And that's so important to me. Bobby will not let me quit. Every single time I see him, he's like, you have to fucking do this.
Bobby Lee you're talking about, right?
Lee, I believe it. He's like, I literally believe that you can fucking do this. And that's so important. Bobby knows who, he knows his opinion matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's been doing it for so fucking long.
Bobby Lee's never told me I should continue doing stand-up. I don't know if he's mentioned that to you, Josh, at all?
He's told me some things.
Really?
About how you should do or should not do stand-up.
The very first time he saw me perform, he put me to do 7 minutes after Fahim Anwar.
Yeah.
Super funny.
And yeah, he killed. That's why he put me after him. He gave me a 7-minute guest spot after the feature.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
And then I went in there and I just followed his wave and I smashed. And I walked off and I go, how was that? And he goes, fuck you. And he walked to the stage. I was like, I guess that was really good. That was cool.
He's joking.
Bobby's great. Bobby's such a good dude. So funny.
Yeah, I love him.
And he does this thing where he'll get off stage after absolutely destroying a room. I performed with him in Pasadena at the Ice House. He leveled the room, got off stage. I was like, Bobby, that was incredible. And he was like, I don't know, they were kind of tight. I don't know. I was like, dude, you got multiple applause breaks. They were basically on their feet at the end of the set. Yeah, they were kind of tight. I wasn't that good. I don't know.
Was he holding all his clothes when he told you that from his last? It's weird when he gets that way and he's just half naked and you're like,
you're just squeezing it.
Like, all right, bro.
He literally did that at MGM Grand in Las Vegas. He did stand up for like, I think it was 30,000 people maybe. And he crushed. He did so well. It was fucking incredible. And he gets off stage and he's just like, I don't even know. I don't even think. I don't want to talk about it. And I'm like, you have something wrong with you. Like there's something. I'll get into it with him. I'm like, I'm not going to do this anymore. Like I'm not going to be like, no, you did great. Like shut up. You were there. Stop.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Everyone saw it.
Yeah.
You saw it. You know. Well, I think that's probably just something that comes with being a stand-up, is doubting yourself, hating yourself a little bit. The self-loathing is definitely, like what you said earlier, like there's nothing funny about my life is great. I love everything.
Yeah.
You know? You're right.
But I found the mental illness.
You have to be tortured a little bit.
Yeah, I found it though.
Oh, you've got it back? Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I found some of it. Like just a second ago, we were talking about like obsessing over like looks and stuff like that. Like I definitely have that mental illness.
Yeah, so you just lean into that.
Yeah, but it's not funny, like unless you're like, you know, it's not very funny. So I have to like figure that out. But yeah, I found the mental illness of life. Even like, yeah, that's what I've done. That's almost my entire set is like, you know, there's stuff going on, even though I'm David Goggins on the inside. But
well, I mean, just some of the stories that you have from not even your past, but just like what's going on online with you right now. It's just so insane. I mean, leaning into that, I think would be hilarious. I've told you that.
Yeah, that's true.
That's just so mad.
They're so mad. I don't even do anything, dude. And you'd think that it was like, there are people that get online like, when you hear, if you don't have any if you've never seen my Instagram or anything like that, and you hear like, oh, men are hating me online, you're going to think like, oh, I'm like a raging feminist or something. And I'm like pretty red-pilled. Like I think I'm like the most red-pilled woman that I know, actually.
Yeah.
And so I'm also
you
like. You
defend men online.
I know.
All the time.
I know. But I can make a joke about them being tall and they're like, oh, it's insane.
It's kind of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't type situation, right?
It's making me like want to lean into being like more of a hater because they're so mean anyways. But it's not, I've never been one of those people that's like, you know, there are people like Julia Fox who get on there and just say that all men deserve to be unalived and that they shouldn't exist and they shouldn't be able to own firearms and stuff. I've never, even in the throes of my mental illness, I've never been a person that talked about men that way. But they're like, they're going to go after me. I'm like, do you realize that also I've dated a guy who's 5'4" and I'm 5'10", so somebody needs to I deserve something.
Yeah,
Like maybe
you
a
gave
Starbucks
you gave
or
a
something.
short king the dream life.
Yeah, dude.
5'4" dude dating
why?
a 5'10" lady.
I've been deeply heartbroken over a man that was 5'6" before. You were like, bet she, in my comment section, when I made that one about tall guys, they were like, bet she doesn't even look in the direction of anyone who's not 6'3". And I'm like, dude, you don't fucking know me. It's rude. And then I said, literally, I dated a guy that was 5'4", and they were like, "Oh, dated? So you guys aren't together anymore?" I was like, what the fuck? I had to physically marry a short guy for him to be happy. Okay, dude.
Yeah,
right.
he got stuck in a well.
Why did you date a guy who's 5'4"?
That is a great question, Josh. Yeah, why would you date a subhuman like that? That's crazy.
I don't know. I'm very into the brain of somebody being very odd and bizarre, and I think that I just like that, and it can trump any kind of. And then there's another element where you're like,
I also struggled with mental illness for a long time, So.
And then also, sometimes you think if you date, that's not what I was doing with this. I was actually in love with a couple of those people, but sometimes you're like, maybe if I date a goblin, they'll be nice to me, and they're not. They're never nice. They're actually much worse because if you date a goblin, they
There's the insecurity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they're insecure and they want to what's it called, knock you down a peg.
Mm-hmm.
So no more.
Yeah, they end up projecting their
Yes.
own self-hatred onto you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've dated some handsome women, is what I call them. Maybe not the
What do you mean?
I would unalive myself if someone
called you a
referred to me
handsome
as
woman. Yeah,
handsome.
maybe not the most attractive, Josh.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought you meant formally.
No, no. Well, you never know. But no, just maybe not the traditionally attractive type.
Okay.
Let's say, right? And yeah, I thought maybe that would be easier. Maybe they'll just be so happy to be here. But no,
They're not, no.
A lot of times that's not the way it works, unfortunately.
No, oftentimes it's the worst people.
Yeah.
The man I was telling you that shared soup with another man in front of me.
Oh, please tell that story to Josh. Please,
Okay, I have to leave out
please.
who it was, though.
Oh, you can't say the name?
No.
It's pretty hilarious.
No, oh
it's
my
a pretty
God,
well-known
absolutely not. I
person,
can't say
Josh.
the name.
Okay, yeah, please tell the story about
but-
the soup incident.
But also, by the way, it's not one of those things where I'm teasing the audience, can't tell. It's just some guy in Austin. It's not someone cool where it's I'm talking about fucking Brad Pitt. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because sometimes I hate when people do that on a podcast and you're like, who the fuck was it?
Yeah.
It's just a guy that we both know and I don't want to talk shit about him.
Yeah.
I came out here with my ex who was, dude, it was like a Netflix, he needs to have a Netflix documentary on him. He was 20 years older than me and he was he was anorexic and he was a card carrying lunatic, but I didn't know because he was one of those people that I never met a person like that before, an actual true narcissist. And I know everybody's my ex was a narcissist. This was actually one of those people that needs to be in a documentary. And they mirror everything that you are and do. You're a carnivore, I'm a carnivore. And meanwhile, he's a vegan and stuff like that. So anyway, we went to Austin and he was having a meeting with some guy because he was going to be on a podcast. He was having a meeting with this guy and we went to a ramen place to all eat dinner together. And the guy that we were with that he was just meeting for the first time, I don't know, dude, maybe it's not a big deal to some people, but it was a really big deal to me. But the guy was like, oh, bro, you gotta try this soup. And he ladles the soup to my boyfriend and eats the soup off of the guy's spoon. My boyfriend ate soup off of another guy's spoon. He airplaned
Another
it.
man, yeah. He airplaned your boyfriend. He spoon-fed your boyfriend at the time.
Never-
Josh?
2 questions.
Okay.
Oh
Okay.
no, you're defending them. I can feel it.
No. Well, first, this will be a lot of context. What ethnicity was he?
Whoa. I don't know if that's even an appropriate
Mexican.
question.
Mexican. Okay, not culturally appropriate.
Okay, I understand. I see what you're doing. Though.
Yeah. Was there, and this is already negative, but was there at least some type of meat, or was it just straight
Broth?
broth?
It was just broth.
It was just broth.
There's no way to. Was there a slurp?
Yeah.
There was
he
a slurp. Oh no, you can't.
I'm telling you,
Bro, you got to get a bite of this soup, bro. Bro,
Across the table?
let me spoon this to you, bro. Did he put his hand under it?
Across the table, dude. Across the table.
That's
and I was
so
just
uncomfortable. I think that might be, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being gay. I'm just saying, like, doing that to another man, spoon feeding another man like that might be gayer than just simply butt.
Was there money involved as far as, like, if I do this, I could get this contract or something like that?
No. Nope.
Oh, wow. That's a great clarification,
That is a really
Josh.
good question. No, there wasn't. All he was doing was providing like a business contact, but it didn't have anything to do with money. It was just like going on a podcast.
Like he didn't feel compelled. Like this wasn't like a Diddy or a Weinstein situation at all. Like you got to let me spoon feed you soup if you want to get the right. If you want the part, you gotta.
No, he wasn't.
You gotta slurp my spoon.
So was the soup good?
I certainly didn't get anywhere near it. I didn't get soup either. That's an embarrassing thing to eat in front of each other, in my opinion. I don't really want to watch men slurp soup. If we're like a couple, we can eat soup together, that's fine. But like, I don't want to be, I was at a table with two men who were eating soup and I wasn't. I just weird.
Well, one was eating soup. The other one was being fed soup.
Yeah.
The other one was receiving soup from another man.
Don't receive soup. That's crazy. It like hurt me on the inside.
Dude, I wanted to go back to something because I think it's really interesting, right? Because you mentioned like you are very like right leaning. I would say like a conservative, maybe not right leaning, but you're just very conservative, right? Like I would say you're kind of like a trad wife type a little bit, like a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a fair thing to say
in some ways, but then I'm also like I'm exiling myself from each category because like I want to do stand up and like be online and like they hate that, they don't want me to have a job and stuff like that. But then I also appeal to the people that don't want me to have a job, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then to the people that are down with me having a job, they're like don't want that, you know what I mean? It's like a weird.
So that's why it's so crazy because the people that are predominantly attacking you, I should say, are like these more conservative right-leaning dudes that are coming after you. That's what blows my mind, Josh, is like she's literally trying to present as the ideal, right? Like I love red meat, vegans are stupid. I just want to be at home and cooking and taking care of my man and raising a family, and then they just come after her.
Tattoos next.
Yeah. I
think tattoos
so bizarre.
are fucking cool. Why are they such pansies about tattoos? It's absolutely insane. I understand that like you don't like somebody's specific whatever. Like I like a certain look of tattoos. Sometimes I look at tattoos, I'm like, ew. But to be like ew to all tattoos is fucking crazy to me.
Yeah.
And a lot of these people, it'll literally be a man that looks like a boiled egg. And he's like, oh, absolutely not. And I'm like, right.
Like you had a shot anyway.
Yeah, dude. What's wrong with
I mean, you
people?
do have the Blink-182 tattoo, which is questionable.
Relax, dude.
That's, You see that one, Josh?
It's kind of like.
Where's the Blink-182?
Right there.
What's wrong with Blink-182?
Great album. Nothing wrong with Blink-182. It's just, I don't know. It's an interesting choice. I love Blink.
I love it. This
I know
is
a lot of
Trent
people
from
who have
Daria.
Blink-182.
What?
Tattoo. I know a lot of people who have Blink-182. They're all white millennials, but they all have.
Yeah, dude, it's the whitest millennial thing of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was kind of, my older sister introduced me to them whenever I was little. So I was kind of like a cool little kid listening to Blink-182 at the time. It was a little bit.
It's nostalgic for you.
Yeah, for sure.
That's.
And then,
that's
I
all right,
kind of have
guess.
like nostalgic, like the stuff that I have. Like I have a Nintendo controller, and Trent from Daria was my first crush.
Okay.
Yeah, Jane's older.
I don't know what that is.
You know what Daria is? It came on like it was like
MTV.
Yeah. MTV
Oh yeah,
like
I would not have known.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I wasn't allowed to watch any of that.
Oh right, yeah.
Not at all. Yeah. Did you have like a religious upbringing? Like the place that you're in today, right? Is that like kind of how you grew up? Like how you experienced your childhood and how your parents interacted?
I grew up on a quarter horse ranch in a town called Poetry, Texas.
Okay.
Not many people out there, and we would like go to horse races all the time. My parents are a Christian, but I wasn't like in a church ever, which is like solid because I like believe in God now, but I don't want to go to church. That makes me want to kill my KMS. I just don't want. I don't like. It makes me feel embarrassed that people are like doing that. I don't know.
Oh, the hand waving and
yeah.
Okay.
And like
not all the churches do that though.
Yeah, I just can't do it.
Okay.
But there's nothing wrong with it. I think it's beautiful. Like my best friend is super duper religious. I didn't grow up that way though, but there's like lessons and stuff they would teach me or whatever. But
So like a moral upbringing, essentially, like Christian morals, but no
Kinda.
church, basically.
yeah,
Okay.
there's a lot of. My dad was he raced quarter horses, which is already gambling, and then like he also would like take us to Vegas and he would gamble. He was like a big. He's an ex-con as well.
What?
He
Your
used to
dad
rob-
is an ex-con?
Yeah, he used to rob, but he's much older now, so he's been like out of that for a very long time. But he was like a bank. He would like rob banks and stuff in Kansas City. He like worked for the mafia, stealing cars for the mafia and stuff like that. He wrote a book
What?
about it. Yeah, but that was so it was kind of like a tiger's blood type thing. He was kind of like Ray Liotta in
Yeah.
Goodfellas, and
Robbing banks and stealing cars for the mafia?
Yeah.
I didn't even know bank robbing was a thing past like 1920.
Yeah, he would do safe cracking. So not like where he's going. I mean, sometimes he would be like holding people up and stuff, but he would do safe cracking. So he would like go into banks whenever they were closed and like get into the safes and stuff like that, like coming from the ceiling and shit like that. And you have to
Whoa.
fill them up with water because the tool that they use to like open them up.
Like Ocean's 11 type shit.
Yeah, the tool they
That's
use is called a
so
burning
cool.
bar, and they like open it up with it, but it takes like it's like flames. It's very hot, so you have to fill them up with water first. All the money is like wet. Anyway,
Did he go to jail?
Yeah, I went to prison for 5 years.
Oh wow. What
Yeah.
like were you born at this
No,
point?
I wasn't.
Oh, okay, this
didn't
was
exist
okay.
yet. That was a really
Okay.
long time ago. So that's why
Okay.
he kind of has like tiger's blood in him, and he would like I grew up going to these quarter horse races and stuff like that. And we
He
would
just
go
needed
to,
the thrill.
we would go to Vegas all the time. He didn't even drink though. We would go to Vegas all the time, and he's like really good at playing craps and would like win all this money. And like I grew up going to Vegas all the time, and like on the floor of like a horse racing place.
Okay. Okay, so
that's-
you had an interesting childhood.
Yeah.
And then you progressed through school. I mean, what like your careers? I mean, I know you got into stand-up comedy in 2012-ish.
Yeah, I've been in the service industry a lot of my
Okay.
life. And then after that, I was nannying. Nannying was really, really like important to me. I nannied for a decade, like raising people's babies, specifically like infants into like being much older. Yeah, and I got just most recently last year, I got the little boy. I nannied for him from 6 months old until he was 5 years old. So he was like my best friend. It's like my people think that he's my child, and they fired me because of who I voted for.
Really?
Yeah, and they had moved me out to LA specifically. Like they moved me back to LA to nanny for him, and because I was like valuable to them, and so I couldn't even like afford to live in LA at the time. So they put their names were on the lease and stuff. So they moved me out there almost like a corporate situation.
Wow.
And when they fired me for my politics, I also lost where I lived. I lost everything. So I had
Holy
to
shit.
move back in with my dad in Texas because of who I
Just
voted
because you
for.
like Kamala? That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
All because of how
Yeah,
much
dude.
I love Kamala Harris.
Yeah. Yeah, people
And I
get
would die for her,
really
so-
upset about that. You'd be surprised, Josh.
Crazy.
I don't even want to get into it. I'm not gonna get into it on YouTube, but it is wild to me like how emotional and insane people can get on one side,
Yeah.
right? And the other side is just kind of like, well, we don't like it, but whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That blows my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't been talking about it as much. I'm also like not as polarizing one way as like now that the election's over, I'm like, okay, I can chill a little bit now. There's also a lot of stuff that I don't like that they're doing. I think that they're like kind of corrupt.
Oh, it's
stuff
all
like
fake.
that.
Yeah,
It's literally
that
all
I have
fake.
definitely talked about on this podcast before. Is that it is all fake.
Yeah.
The actual decisions, the actual policy that gets enacted has nothing to do with the people that we see. It's mostly secret societies. It is lobbyists. It is special interest groups, and that is it.
Yeah.
That's
Did
it.
you give the baby like a red hat or something?
No, that's the thing. But they actually said the words. What did they say? They were like, even though you haven't expressed any of that around him, we just feel like somebody who could support this person, your values aren't like comparable where you can be around my son anymore.
Yeah,
And this
you're
person,
like inherently evil, essentially.
and can you imagine? I think all the time, like I have 2 dogs, and yes, I'm very hyper analytical of like my dogs. I'm like a very good caretaker for them, obviously. But there aren't even people that I would trust to watch my dogs, literally. Like, I won't even let them, like, be left alone at my mom's house because she has a pool and I'm scared my fat, chunky corgi is going to drown.
Yeah.
I can't imagine, I don't have a child, but, like, I know what it's like to love children. I can't imagine, like, even having, like, how valuable it would be, even though I know that it's like, oh, there's babysitters here and there, whatever. But, like, how valuable it would be to have a person that you trust with your little kid's life. They trusted me so much that they put me as the, what is it called, where you, like, if something happened to them, if they traveled a lot, if something
Emergency
happened
contact,
to them,
yeah.
the kid went to me. They
Yeah.
literally put that in a contract.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Okay.
as the, like, whatever it's called, the
Basically
godmother.
godparent. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how important I was, but politics were more important than that.
And that's my thing. Like, I'll use a very simple example here, and I'm going to try not to go on a tangent here, but something as simple as dating apps. I have seen so many profiles that are like, if you voted for Trump or support Trump, don't bother, right? Never once have I seen one that said, hey, if you support Biden or if you support Harris or if you
Right.
support whoever, right? Don't even bother. It's very one-sided in that respect. And I don't
Yeah.
know why that is necessarily. Anyways, yeah.
Because they think that that's pure evil. You basically voted for Hitler's thought process.
Yeah.
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 That's how extreme it is.
So what if you had a kid and then you found out your babysitter was a hardcore communist? Would you want them around your kid?
See, the thing is,
Ideologically, no. But at the same time, like if you're taking good care of my kid, I don't think I care. I mean, I don't even have kids, so I don't really know, Josh. You would be the person to answer that question. Are you a communist?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
yeah, also, it's just you can get a successive vibe from somebody whenever you've worked for you for a very long time. Like, it's the most intimate situations with these people.
Right.
Like, I basically was part of their family. Like, we went to different countries and stuff like that together. And, like, yeah, I always try to, like, logically think about the role reversal if I was, like, if I was in that situation, somebody was super duper left leaning or something. As long as they weren't pushing on my kid, I wouldn't give two fucks, you know?
Yeah, and you're really not like a pushy political person.
No.
That's not like really your persona at all.
No, people have to pry it out of me. I mean, I talk about
Yeah.
it online sometimes, but
It's also the social pressure. If you're within those communities of LA or any other place like that,
Yeah, that is true.
then
Yes.
a friend finds out that the babysitter's like that, then
Yeah.
you get branded that as well.
That's
Yeah.
true. And you know what's really interesting about LA? I was just in LA for a week and a half, and one of the things that I noticed there seems to be like a turning of the tide or something, where women in LA are starting to realize, oh wait, we want like masculine, manly men, and we're not really getting that here in
Right.
Los Angeles right now. We're getting like kind of ambiguous dudes at this point. And it seems like women in LA specifically have started recognizing that. And they're kind of outspoken about how they want more manly men now.
right.
Is that something you've noticed, Della?
Yeah, yeah. I've seen a bunch of funny ones online that are like, I'm just looking for a super masculine, blah 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 guy that's going to take care of the entire family. Let me be a trad wife who voted for Kamala, and I'm like, good luck.
I thought it was 6 foot, 6 figures with a 6-inch dick.
Yeah, and then they're like,
That too.
5'5", 200 pounds.
Right. But I think there does seem to be like this this drifting back towards I don't necessarily want to say traditional gender roles, but for lack of a better way of explaining it, like
Gender roles.
yeah, it seems like that might be kind of a thing that's gaining a little traction right now,
Yeah,
which
I
is
think
interesting.
people are sick of it probably.
Yeah.
I definitely subscribe to the whole like red pill thing though, where they're like, you didn't want, like women are like, why don't men approach me anymore? I could totally see that, like how, because women are like, ew, or whatever, or like they'll like film you at the gym if you like look at somebody's butt whenever they're wearing pants that are clear, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like film you and try to ruin your life and stuff like that. So I get that. I get why it's like, but people are also like, everybody's becoming an incel and people can't talk to each other and stuff like that. And it's like very worrium.
It
We
is.
need to get like nutritionally right, and like people will be able to do that more.
So you would bring it all back to
Yeah.
what is your diet? The
Yeah.
reason you don't have a girlfriend, the reason you don't have a boyfriend is because you're not eating enough red meat.
I really do. I really do think that.
Really?
For the most, not just exclusively eating more red meat. I think that the number one thing that's causing brain inflammation is seed oils.
Okay.
I'm super duper anti seed oil. That's like the number one thing that was killing me. But yeah, I think that just because like the anecdotal evidence of like myself and all these people that I know that it's happened to. I mean, I'm a different person. I used to like shake at the thought. And I make small talk with strangers when I'm in public. Like I don't have any of that anymore.
Yeah.
And I would literally drive to like a hike in LA. I would get all my stuff, and it takes a while because it's like traffic and parking and all that kind of shit. I would literally get ready for a hike, drive to the place, find parking, pay for parking, and I would like look at the people walking around and like get it in my head that they hated me or I was too ugly to be there. And I would literally get in my car and go home. Like it was just, I was out of my mind. And now I'm like nutritionally right. And I'm like talking to strangers.
Did you go to therapy or anything as part of like your health journey? Or, I mean, was it just diet for you pretty much?
I went to therapy. I got diagnosed with major depressive disorder and with like a current episode and then like obviously. And but
this was after you started the diet or before though?
It was before.
Before you started the diet?
Yeah.
And then after you switched your diet, did you continue therapy? Like, were you getting third-party help with? No,
I got off all medication like as soon as I started doing it because I just didn't need it anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, were you on quite a bit of medication at that point?
Yeah, I was on antihistamines because I was like, I would wake up and I would sneeze every single day. I would wake up and sneeze like 10 times. You know when you sneeze so much that you're exhausted?
Yeah.
Like it was like that.
It doesn't feel good anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would like throw up from the pain in my jaw and stuff like that. I was on a heavy dose of antihistamines sometimes. I was on Lexapro. I was on propanolol. I was on Xanax, Adderall, a couple other things.
Whoa.
I can't remember.
That's a cocktail.
Yeah, I was a cocktail.
And you're completely off all of that?
I'm not. I've been raw dogging life for a while now. Completely. Yeah.
And, like, do you still have any of the episodes that you were dealing with previously?
I can feel it just like clockwork. If I eat the wrong thing, I can feel like something slowly leach back. Immediately. But I can play around where I know like, I'm just going to get a little bit of this and I probably shouldn't do that. Honestly, if I want to feel like Superman, I just am 100% carnivore, but it's hard like socially, sometimes I want to fuck up and eat a pizza or whatever. But yeah, I feel them even mentally, I can feel it come back like pretty easily.
So for you, it is just directly tied to your diet.
Yeah, and I think that it's like that for more people than people realize.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Josh, have you looked into this at all? Because I know you talk to a lot of people about all kinds of,
I did for Lent, I did no alcohol and no fast food. And I fasted, and the no fast food, like not depression, but you get sad every once in a while for no reason at all. And I didn't get sad. And I'm like, what's in this food?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I started eating fast food again. Just the last 2 weeks, and my stomach's all fucked up.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here anymore.
It seems like everybody, mental stuff, obviously everybody's got something, but also like it's become like a common joke that everybody has like IBS and stuff.
Yeah.
And are like, oh, I can't drink milk. I'm lactose intolerant. Oh, I'm da-da-da. And it's like, no, it's the poison that we're eating. Like we're literally eating poison every day. And not, like I said, you don't just have to be eating fast food to be getting poisoned. Like, have you ever seen like, and every now and then I'll fuck up and eat something like that. So I'm not like, I'm not like untouchable and like, oh my God, like chasing people down like RFK memes or whatever. But even just like the chicken in like Chick-fil-A chicken there's like 40 ingredients in Chick-fil-A chicken. It's insane. Like it's not even.
But it's so good.
Ugh.
It tastes different after a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if you don't eat it for a while and you taste it, you're like, what is it?
Love Taco Bell.
Yeah.
I love
Taco Bell too.
It's a problem for me. But I will say, like, it was interesting because it was one of my friends is who introduced me to you because she was trying to convince me, like, hey, you need to be eating more red meat. Like I was getting, tired, and I just kind of attributed it to age or whatever. Right, like I'm getting older. Yeah, I'm gonna be more tired. I'm not gonna be able to lift as much weight. Like it's
nah, dude.
But like physically, I'm going to change. That's just what happens. And so she like directed me towards you, Della. And I was like, oh, okay, well I can eat more steaks. And it's kind of crazy. It's like I'm not nuts like you are, as far as, how rigorous I am with my diet. But, I mean, just the slight changes that I've made, I can tell a difference for sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of bizarre.
It helped my son. He was eating a lot of just carbs and stuff and steak and rice now.
Yeah.
That's all he pretty much eats. Red dye, got rid of that. My father was like, that's horseshit.
Huh.
I'm like, give him a Gatorade. Go ahead, give him a red Gatorade. Gave him a red Gatorade. He called me. He's like, yeah, I got to pick him up.
Wow, dude.
I've heard that with kids a lot specifically. I guess because kids like can't regulate their, even if.
And every doctor was like, you need to put him on medicine.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, what?
That's what's so crazy to me. They just immediately, they never say like, what are you eating? They never dissect any of that stuff. And it's just, you just get peddled with all this medication. And that's why everybody's on medication. It makes me so sad also thinking about all of the children that are on unnecessary medication. Now I'm not like, and anytime I say that, people are so insane about it, but it's true. And I'm not like hokey enough to where I'm like, okay, it can fix absolutely everything, and there's not somebody out there that like was born a certain way. Like
Sure.
I'm not whatever, but I do think, I don't know, 90% of the people out there on medication could probably get off of half of it just changing their diet.
Interesting. And I will say it's definitely starting to gain traction.
Yeah.
Like what you're talking about, and maybe it's just because I've become more aware of it, and so I see it more frequently, right? But it does seem like there are a lot of people talking about it, and the whole RFK thing. I mean,
that's what got people talking about it, I think.
You think so?
Yeah.
The Make America Healthy Again?
Yeah, dude. I know that obviously that's also, I'm not super, like I'm very black pilled, so I think some of that is bullshit also. But yeah, I think he got people talking about seed oils, which I think is one of the most important things, just telling people that those are bad, because it literally is engine lubricant, and Americans are eating, I want to say it's like 10 tablespoons or something like that a day just in their regular diet, and they're not realizing that they're ingesting it. It makes me mad because I'm like, I didn't even know that this was in my food. I didn't even know it was something that I like needed to be looking out for. That's the one thing that fucks me up. Like it gives me terrible mental illness. It does all kinds of shit to you. It gets trapped in your cells where it leaves you like incapable of like losing weight in an easier way, in the way that you should be able to. It gets trapped in your cells for, even if you stop, it's still in your cell for like, I think it's 3 years. It also like fries your, like with aging, it literally gets trapped in your cell. And it's like, whenever I was eating before this diet, I could go into the sun and I would just like fry like a crouton. Mm-hmm. And now that it's been so long and I don't eat those anymore, I can get tan. And I'm like a super fair person. I've never experienced that before. Everybody that goes carnivore and gets off of seed oil says that they don't burn in the sun anymore and they don't need sunscreen anymore.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. What are like some resources that people can check out just if they want to learn more about this? And then I want to talk a little bit more about stand-up comedy and what we've got coming up.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely check out like, let me see. Dr. Ken Berry on YouTube is excellent for it. And he's an actual doctor. Paul Saladino, obviously, our Lord and Savior Paul. There's a really good resource for it if you're confused and like just starting. It's called Carnivore RX on Facebook. It's a group full of like 150, I think, thousand carnivores, and you can literally just get in there and like ask people. I posted my dad's, because my dad has gotten like half carnivore. I posted my dad's blood work on there the other day, and I was like, is anybody, it's just like a really helpful resource for that. And then who else? Dr. Sean Baker, all of his content in his podcast, like listening to it saved my life. All those people, like I attribute my.
And these are actual doctors that are saying, no, this is what you need to do.
Every single one of those is an actual doctor. Yeah.
Wow. Incredible. Now that you're recovered, you've kind of found your way back to semi-normalcy, I would say.
Yeah.
You're ready to start doing stand-up again. I mean, how do you think that return is going to be?
I'm really, really excited.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you're so passionate about stand-up comedy.
I know, it's so stupid that I stopped.
Yeah, like when I first started talking to you, it was like if I said anything about diet or comedy, you were going to go on a tangent for sure. Like that was happening.
Yeah.
And I get why you stopped.
Yeah.
And I understand, maybe why you had to kind of take a little while before you were ready to start again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like an autistic special interest. I was trying to figure out also in that time I took away, I was like, am I just a fan? Like, can I just be a fan forever? And then I was like, no, I for sure can't just be a fan forever. I've got to just do this. Every single day. They say there's like quotes about it where they're like, don't ever give up on something you can't go a day without thinking about. Thought about every single day since I stopped, every single day.
Yeah.
And then it's like every city I go to, everybody I meet, even if I'm not doing shows or anything. I haven't done it in like 3 years, but like everybody that I've become friends with is a stand-up.
Yeah.
Everybody that I've hung out with since is a stand-up. I still hang out with Bobby all the time. He's my favorite person in the world. He like beats it. I was literally avoiding him for a while because he gives me anxiety. He's like also he's my buddy. He's also like one of my heroes in it. And so it would like give me anxiety to see him because he's like, you have to fucking do this.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? And now I'm geeked out about it because it's
Finally get back into it.
Yeah.
Well, you've also performed on some of the like biggest stages in the world. Like you performed at the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge deal. Josh, have you performed at the Comedy Store?
You know I haven't. Why would you say
I did.
that?
Well, no, I didn't know.
You
Like
know
maybe
I
you did a
haven't.
spot in the belly room. I don't know.
No,
I haven't either.
I did the mothership.
You did the mothership. Yeah, so have I.
Yeah.
Okay, so
The main stage.
Yeah, same. Relax.
Not on Kill Tony.
Okay, whatever, dude. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So yeah, I mean, realistically, like you've performed with some of the most talented people in our industry on some of the biggest stages in the world.
It feels so far away.
Yeah. Is it like daunting? Are you anxious about it? Are you gonna?
Yeah, I'm anxious. It always scared the shit out of me though. I never got to a point of. I don't think that ever goes away. Like I know some people that have like just started, they're pretty comfortable on stage. I've never been comfortable. I don't let people know though, really. But I'm like, the first time I ever did it, I was like, if I crash my car right now, like not to unalive myself, but I was like, if I crash my car just enough, like I won't have to go do a spot. That's what I thought every single time I would go to a show. But it's like it feels
that
so,
level of nervousness.
Yeah.
But do you think
100%.
now that you're in like a better mental and physical place, like that won't be, quite so intense or overwhelming? Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be better. Yeah.
Okay.
It's still scary, but it'll be way better for sure. But it feels so good though. Whenever you're that scared of something,
Yeah.
I can't even think of anything else like in my adult life that I'm like that as scared of as stand up. So that's why it feels so good when you get on the other side of that. You
Yeah.
know? And especially like if you have a good night or whatever, it's like crazy. I can't wait to feel that again.
It is a very intense feeling, for
And
sure.
I think I told you like looking back, I was so dumb. This is very newfound too, because I was like not doing it, and then you were like, "No, you need to do a spot on this." So it's like coming up. I actually haven't done it yet in a really long time. But what the fuck was I gonna say?
I don't
Other
know.
side, I lost it.
How it's a very
It's gonna
intense
come
feeling.
back right whenever you start.
You were gonna do a spot.
Yeah.
I was gonna do a spot. There was something. No,
You were
it's
just
gone.
no.
I don't think
It's out. It's out of there.
Did you eat some bread
I
today?
told you. You know what? That's a better question.
Oh my
No.
God.
I can't remember. I was going to tie it into something we were just.
I didn't even
talking about,
interrupt.
and I forgot.
You just dropped off. That was
I
crazy.
told you, dude. I have holes in my brain from doing too much stuff as a kid.
Yeah, you
much.
did some of that too.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
did some-
understandable. It really
Yeah.
is. Maybe
But there was something else. Do that thing? No. It's
no,
not there.
it's just gone. All right. I feel like it was going to be such a good point too, and I'm definitely leaving this in the episode.
Was it about
I'm
Bobby
not
Lee?
cutting it out. What?
No, it definitely was. It definitely was there. Oh, whenever I think about the top, like this is such a good reason to keep fucking doing it because what the fuck is wrong with me? If I actually think about like the grand scheme of my life and I'm like in the top, like if you think about your life and you're like, what are the best moments I've ever had in my life?
Yeah.
2 of them of mine were doing stand up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Easy.
What are you? Why did it take this long?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was crazy because we had been talking about stand up comedy. I was in LA. I got a phone call. Hey, we want you to headline in Dallas at TK's Comedy Club, and I was thinking about it, and we'd been talking about the store. You'd been telling me some of your stories, how you wanted to get back into stand up, and so I called you and I was like, hey, I've got these shows. I think you should do them. And immediately, it was all these excuses. I haven't done a set in how many years it is. Like
Yeah.
all of my material is obsolete at this point.
It is.
I don't know if I could. And it was literally just like, okay, that's all cool. Yes or no? Yes or no? Do you want to do these shows? And now you are.
Yeah.
We're going to do 6 shows.
Yeah.
in
That's
Dallas,
a lot of shows.
and we're going to see if you just absolutely bomb, dude.
Oh, well.
In your hometown.
I don't want to bomb my hometown again.
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah, you told me about bombing in front of your grandma.
Yeah, I bombed for my
in
grandma.
her hometown.
And her best friend, Fredna.
Have you ever bombed in front of your grandma, Josh?
No, my mom.
Okay.
My mom.
All right, well, that's...
Why is that so much more embarrassing? Because it's like the people that love you the most. So it shouldn't be more embarrassing. But for me, it's more embarrassing because it's like I left town to like do this thing. And then they never saw like little shows and stuff of mine. So it's like this big finale thing that they're seeing. And they're like, this is why Della moved here to do this. And then I ate shit. It was so bad.
So funny,
so
though.
bad. I can't even believe that they're like, keep doing that. Like they should have just been like, you should figure something else out.
Oh, yeah, maybe you should find a husband and just raise kids or something, yeah.
It's worse when you do it in front of your father-in-law. That's the one.
Ooh.
That does sound
Yeah.
worse.
And they don't tell you bomb. They just tell you how the other people on the show are funny.
Oh, that's brutal, dude. Your father-in-law did that to you?
Well, yeah.
I mean, was it justified? Did you really eat a dick?
No, I just talked a lot about his daughter.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, okay,
yeah,
that's a little different.
Know your audience.
Yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't even, kind of makes me, I've like actively told my family not to come to the show because I don't want to be like weird about like, you know, if I say anything, and they're not even like that, but it's just like, I know that it'll affect me a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's like, it feels mean to be like, don't come or whatever, but.
No, I get that. I mean, it's your first time back on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any way to take away from what could cause nerves,
Yeah.
let's do that
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. I'm going to take a Quaalude
Oh,
and just
relapse.
vomit up there.
Yeah, and don't invite them to shows in the first 2 years. That was my mistake.
Yeah, that's a good call too. I see
is a
these
good
poor
call.
open micers, dude, that will invite every single one of their friends and family to their first show and pack out a room and then just bomb
I've done
horribly.
that.
Yeah,
I
it's
did that.
I
rough
used
to
to do
see. I'd
I'd invite
fortunately-
people to my show, which was an open mic.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah.
Ooh, inviting some. Yeah, I'm headlining this open mic.
Yeah.
I've done that.
That hurts, yeah.
All my friends come and then I bomb in front of them.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, I did that. I bombed at Mickey's in West Hollywood, and it's like a gay bar. And the stage, my whole like set was like act outs, and I was very new. I think it was the third time I'd ever done it in my life. My whole set was like all different kinds of act outs, and their stage ended up being like it was a gay bar where they do like drag shows. So there was a runway, so it was very like narrow and
Nice.
difficult to like navigate though. So it made the whole thing super weird. And I didn't know like. I'm kind of deadpan, so I didn't know that I needed to like throw a lot of little funny things in there so that people would like stay engaged. And nobody also cared even that I was alive there. And it was just I like got off stage and it was like the crickets the entire time. It was like long and slow and just awful.
Yeah, those shows where you can hear the microphone buzz. That's awesome.
I went into the bathroom and I looked at myself in the mirror and there's glory holes right here, by the way. It just like adds to it. It's the first time I'd ever seen a glory hole.
That's going to be my next job.
And I just like looked in the mirror and I was like, are you going to cry? And I like started to cry and then I was like, no, fuck that. And then I just, whatever.
Well, you know what? That's not going to happen in Dallas.
It's not.
It's not going to happen at TK's. We're going to be there May 29th through June 1st. We're doing 6 shows, Thursday through Sunday.
Yeah.
So we'll see how you do.
Don't say it like that.
I'm just saying, like, we'll
it's gonna
see.
be just fine, dude.
Right?
I think it's gonna be very fun.
We'll see how much the red meat helps with being funny.
Yeah, exactly. At least I won't. I won't be thinking about crashing my car on the way there.
There you go.
Yeah,
Well, that's good.
that's enough.
Della, where can people find you online?
I'm Della Dream on Instagram and X. Yeah.
And you also have YouTube, right?
Yeah. Fuck YouTube.
Okay. It's literally the platform that we're. YouTube, we love you. Okay, don't listen to Della.
Sorry.
Josh, you got anything coming up, man?
Check out 15 for 15 on YouTube. Sorry, the audio is a little fucked up, but watch it.
15 for 15 with Josh Cabaza. You can just Google him. It'll show you all his links. If you just Google Josh Cabaza,
Yeah.
everything's there, including his new YouTube channel because his old one was removed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all, thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We love you so much. We'll see you next week. Bye.